Good morning, everyone. Welcome to FYI. For your information, I am your host, Gerard Fernandez. This morning, I am not alongside my co-host. However, he's going to be joining me shortly. It is Thursday, guys. Thursday, the 9th of June, 2022, and we are off, almost off of the week, but it has been quite a few days thus far. Lots going on, even more information to bring you, credible information, I must say. To the folks that are joining already, let me just tell you to make sure you do your part. Start very early. Share the live stream. We have so much to discuss today. As always, we have been combing through every bit of news and making sure that we're going to bring you the credible information and we're going to put it over to you in all the context that you need. And you know what is most beneficial about these programs is that you, the viewers, are also included in the discussion, so you are able to give your feedback. And that is what distinguishes us from any other avenue and platform that brings news around today. So, guys, pleasant good morning to you. So much going on. Like I said, I want to know where you're joining from. It's raining cats and dogs in most parts of the country. Let me know where you're joining from and how is the weather there. Very important for us to know how is the weather over there where you are. Guys, I'm gonna be scrolling into the Facebook comments for a little bit. So the guys joining on YouTube, don't feel anywhere as yet. I'm gonna be with you very shortly. I see Roxanne Aaron on this morning. Roxanne, let me know where you're joining from. How is the weather there? What is going on? Is there any particular issue in your community that you would like us to highlight? Just let us know and we'll get right on that. This is the platform in which we amplify your voice. Every single last one of these platforms. The morning program as we're on right now, FYI, we have Below the Belt in at the midday and also in the evening in the ring. All three platforms use to amplify voices to get change, and it has been doing a phenomenal job thus far. Shelly, I see you over there. Shelly, the writer, saying blessed morning. I see you over there, Laverne. Laverne is also joined by Amabel Clement. Hey, Amabel, how are you? I didn't see you yesterday. I'm not sure if I missed your name. And Lynn Fernandez. Hey, Lynn, how are you doing? You know, Lynn is one of our amazing FYI family members. Also in the Ring and Below the Belt family. It has been quite a journey thus far, but we are keeping to the task and we are bringing you credible information every single day. I see Ann Kearns also online saying good morning, FYI family. Guys, let us know what is going on. Hey, Marlon, I see you out there, Marlon. How are you doing this morning? And Terrence Lloyd Wallace. Terrence Wallace, are you related to the Wallaces in Bartica? Let me know in the comment section. And I see Sherry Baskin, Greenwich, Sherry, watching from Barbados. All the folks in Barbados, special good morning to each and every one of you. You have been quite an amazing audience thus far. We continue to look forward to your continued support, if I must say it in that manner. I see Afia Cummins joining us this morning also, and Donna DeBarras. Hey Donna, how are you doing this morning? I see Gigi is online with us, and Marlon Thomas. I like that eagle, man. That eagle spreads its wing and say good morning. Morel Jones, how are you doing this morning, Morel Jones? I know Morel Jones in Bartica. I'm not sure if it's the same person. If it is, let me know in the comment section. Marlon Thomas says it's wonderful. Good to know, Marlon. Good to know. Like June. We're there. We're at mid-year already, guys. Let us know how things are going at your end. Have you been able to accomplish any goals thus far? And if you have not, there's always scope for readjusting. And it's very important that you set out those little tasks when the week comes so that you will be checking it off. I got this done, X, Y, Z done. And if you don't get everything done, that is okay. We all human beings, and everything is not set in stone, as my mother would say. So make sure that you just tweet and move along so that you can actually accomplish something every single month. We're already into the month of June, quite some bit. The 9th of June is we're already there. But we still have quite a bit to go through before the month has ended. So you still have some time to make sure you do your part and get whatever it is that you need to get done. I see Virginia here. It says FYI, good morning. Good morning to you from Virginia. I see Sheldon Wickham is also in the house with us this morning saying good morning to you, strong folks. So, good morning from good morning from you, wonderful persons, to us strong folks. Is always a good morning because I can tell you, the viewers, continue support. You are the ones that empower us and continue to help us feel stronger. Guys, it has been something, and I see that don't worry, the car that has just popped up there for a few seconds. I don't know what's going on in the back with my technical team. I have to pull them in for fitness. Tech guys, be be careful there. And I'm seeing Stanislaus Washington in the house joining us this morning, watching from Sutherland, England. Hey, all you folks is joining from England, any part of the UK, just let us know in the comment section. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. And I see Edward Brooms is saying present this morning. Hey, Edward, good morning to you. How are you this morning? Bradwood Stacy says, good morning, FYI family. And I'm seeing Paulette Kippins in the house this morning. Hey, Paulette, good morning to you. How is your family doing, everyone? Let us know what is going on. I see Mayborn King in the house this morning saying good morning, Dorota and Sherrod. Blessed Thursday. Yes, blessed Thursday to everyone indeed. And I see June Chess. June, I see you saying blessed morning, everyone. How are you doing, guys? Share the live stream this morning. It's absolutely important that we get the discussion going. It's absolutely important that more persons join the discussion. We are so thankful for every bit of feedback you give, every time you add your voice, either in the comment section, even when at the media programs and so forth, when you are given the platform so that you can call in and give your contribution, add context and your understanding of the situation at hand. We are not doing our job unless we are reaching out to you and getting the feedback from you. So it has been quite a journey and an experience thus far to hear the variations of thinking of our supporters on the ground throughout the 9 administrative region, and also the folks that joined from the diaspora. Quite an extraordinary bit of feedback we have been getting thus far. We will continue to make sure that our platform is expanded to make sure that we get all the feedback as necessary. That's why I consistently say, guys, it is so important for us to have folks that join us in the hinterland locations more specifically, because persons there, I know persons in the diaspora would not have this issue, but believe me when I tell you, persons in hinterland locations now more than ever is deprived of so much information. I know previously under the coalition administrators, excessive work was put into making sure that they are informed. But we have to do our part right now and utilize the technology that we have at hand to make sure that the information gets to persons in Region 9, Region 1. Guys, it is so, so important. We cannot leave any Guyanese stifled from information, not in the information age. That is not something that we're going to support, and we're going to continue to do our part to make sure the information reaches everyone. So if you have relatives, friends that are residing in any one of those regions, make sure that you specifically share the stream so that they will benefit from the discussions altogether, and we will be able to get the feedback from them. And I'm always saying, when we talk about feedback, guys, it's never feedback that's one-sided. I invite feedback from everyone. You don't necessarily have to agree with the position that we're taking on the programs, but it is so important that you give whatever your position is. And you would know, and for anything else, FYI platform is extremely accommodating to every single individual. So it does not have to be feedback that's aligned with my thinking or my co-host thinking. However, it has to be information that's aligned with your experience based on how things are happening in your life on a day-to-day basis. And let us move forward to make sure that is grassroots leadership. We have to interact with you, the people, in order for us to have a wide scope of understanding as to what is going on and more so what needs to be done to get this country to where it needs to be so that all Guyanese will be able to benefit. And that is the plan all the time, to make sure that you do your part right now and take a pause and share the stream. Make sure that that's your platform. Share the stream this morning so that someone else can benefit. Each one, reach one. This is the mantra that we are going to be moving forward with. So each one, reach one. This is credible information sharing, and it is our duty to partner to make sure that it is done in such an extraordinary way that the wave of information, no one will be able to stop it. So that is what we're planning right now. I see Paul Passad there this morning, and I see Chising Henry. Hey, Chising, how are you doing? And I see Marlon King. I see you there, listening, listening, listening. Very good. Sandra Peters, good morning to you, Sandra. How is yourself? And I see, is it and yes, Ann Kearns. Ann is asking where is Sher. Oh, Sher is just a few seconds out right now. And don't get worried. Don't get worried. He's just a few seconds out. He has been very delinquent with his timing this morning. You have to pull him in for fitness when he gets here. Right? Yeah, and I see Jennifer Bob. Jennifer Bob says good morning to the FYI family. This is indeed a family. This is indeed a family, very mixed up family, but a very blended family. I think that is the correct terminology that has been introduced when we're describing families now. They're blended families. So the FYI family is quite a blended family. I see you some more, George, and all of those heart eyes here in the comment section. I hope you're having quite an amazing day thus far. Absolute pleasure to be here with you. And I see always Sherrod picking up. Sherrod has some questions to be answered. And Marlon King and Brenda Cassie, how are you? Brenda, Morna, Monroe at Eastern Juke. It is a pleasure. If I miss your name, please do not feel any way. I try my best to go through them as quickly as I possibly can, but sometimes it's almost impossible. Gwyneth Anderson, hey Gwyneth, I'm seeing you there. I hope everything is all right at your end. And Facebook user, Sherrod is asking if he could come. Can I come in at this moment? Tommy Gibbs, as I'm going to be turning my attention to the YouTube, our YouTube audience. I see Tommy here this morning. And I see Beatrice Selby. Is it Beatrice there? I see, well, actually, I'm seeing Tommy speaking to Beatrice. Tommy saying, morning, Sister Beatrice. You know, these people are more family than we think. As we welcome my co-host, good morning to you, sir. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Sorry to be late to the breakfast table, guys. So sorry. Sorry to be late. How are you doing?
Why are you late?
Pace and power.
Why are you late this morning?
Making sure everything runs smoothly behind the scenes. Then we come and, because we don't want any trouble when once we start. Once we start, we don't want any trouble.
Making sure that it is all good.
Yeah. Apologies, guys. I think I'm showing too much of that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I see Yvette Wolfer joining us also on YouTube. You know, I've been very one-sided this morning. I'm now touching on the YouTube viewership. Mm-hmm. That's not good, but it is what it is.
That's how you stay. That's how you stay.
No, I have better.
Yep. So good to see everybody. Good to see each and every one of you. Good to see everybody. How you guys are doing? Bradford, Stacy, and all the other wonderful, beautiful folks joining us. Great to see you guys. How are you folks? Chinsing Henry, how are you guys doing? Giving you some bright sunshine there. Hope you like it. Hope you love it. Some good sunshine. How are you guys doing today? Gloria Fraser and Rhonda Spencer Farm, all the other beautiful folks. How are you all doing?
Well, it's of course. It is the first thing we need to acknowledge. You know, I was just going through the importance of the information.
Yes.
I was just going through it.
I heard some of that. Yeah. Share, and then smash.
Because it's absolutely important. You know, people don't understand. We have lived through a time in which it was quite something when you got a bit of information. Persons line up to get a newspaper. Oh, you're welcome. Persons line up to get a newspaper and all of that because that was the only means to get information. And I can say, like, even in hinterland locations, it's even worse there when the newspapers don't get you can get newspapers on a daily basis. So right now, in the information age, you know, it is crazy to think that some persons don't get a lot of the information right now. It's our duty to break that. It's our duty to fight that with everything that we have to make sure that everyone gets it. Informed people make informed decisions. I think that's something you said.
Correct. I love it.
Informed people make informed decisions.
I love it.
So we don't want anyone to be. We don't want to be strong arming or enforcing your way on somebody. People must be properly informed from all sides so that they can make a conscious decision on their own. So that's our fight. That's our aim, to make sure that everyone is properly informed so that they can make informed decisions.
Couldn't say it better. Quite a few things to discuss this morning, but you guys, we want to just shop for style, because you're looking pretty and so on. We want to share a couple of things with you and then get out your face so you guys can get on the rest of life. A little thing.
A little thing.
Good pass. Yeah.
I hope so. I'm not gonna have issues
Something
at
gotta
home.
happen. Something's gotta happen. Good to see Judith.
Judith Davis.
Yes. You see
Yes,
that?
Judith.
Both spot Judith at the same time.
Yes, Judith, you have been missing in action for a couple
Yes,
days.
Judith.
I have to call
Yes,
you.
Judith.
We have to get
Yes,
this
Judith.
sorted out.
Yes, yes. We need to
But
know why.
It's a pleasure to have you here this morning, Judith, joining us from
Yeah.
Baltica.
Joel Ward says present in class. Good. Get let your notebooks head up.
Joel, Judith always making the good stuff for breakfast. So I'm curious to know what she's having for breakfast.
Yeah. You know, I'm seeing over 400 persons joining us from this end. You know, that's a big breakfast table.
Yes.
That's a big breakfast table, over 400. We're privileged.
It's so crazy.
Privileged. You know, if that could be demonstrated and shared as well.
Yes.
Sell off.
Yep.
Breakfast would sell off. Paul Passard, good to see you, Paul.
And Morale King, is it Anthony Edmondson? It goes by so fast.
Yes. And Marlene says she needs to see me. I need to call her. Good, I'm going to call you, Marlene.
Will do.
Yep. Indrani Likaram, good to see you, Indrani. Trisha, where are we this morning?
We are now. We have so much to discuss, and we can start what is going on the international front.
Not the only morning papers.
Well, there's quite a few things
on
the morning papers. I think if we can go through, because the discussion that we're going to have, it's going to be a little more touching in depth with some of the
this gunman. This businessman that was robbed at LBI is something we were following last evening.
Correct.
And I see we have an update on it because they said a businessman went to a party in Lebanon Intention, LBI, and was robbed. Millions, according to them. Some of the stuff has been recovered, but I don't know. I won't be going to a border party with millions. This is your money, I understand that, but in the kind of environment we live, we got to be so cautious. And overnight, we learned that at least 3 persons have been held for that robbery. I'm happy that he escaped with his life because, them boys serious these days, but that's one of the things in the morning papers.
Yeah, a person's going to literal party. Like everything is so, the security breaches are so crazy.
This is not interesting. It's you here. Or like, wow, what's happening in our schools now?
Well, I have noted yesterday, persons, if you were following on social media, I know our colleague Coretta was out there yesterday in that protest, actually, as teachers protest over gang attacks at City School. And I think this is a discussion that we definitely need to have at this point in time. This is not acceptable. We have been speaking so much about how the schools are at this point in time, and also the fact that gang is one thing, but also drug use in school is something that's
trying to be comfortable.
Shared is not at his you see, when you're late, you don't get to fix yourself, right?
You know that. So a lot of stuff happening in schools, and I think this was which school this was Lodge Secondary, and the folks are saying that they're not teaching too much the gang activity there. Pre really failing this term.
But we have to. We have to. I think we have to. When it comes to our children in the school system, we have to find the most innovative ways of dealing with the issues at hand.
Don't we?
No, we have to. We haven't been, as far as I'm seeing, there has not been innovative ways, and you can't deal with 1960 methods to counter with 2022 issues. And that's the fact. We have to be more innovative all together as parents and teachers and everything to deal with the issues today. Prior to, Sharon is very, very OCD. And sometimes you see it, he can't help himself. You have to fix everything uniquely.
Just carry on the program.
In place.
Stop it. Right there.
Yes, but it's a very big issue that we're looking at right now, and I think that there is somewhat of still a lack of willingness on the part of even the professionals and so forth to move to more innovative methods in dealing with these things. But when you talk about what is going on today, the access with the use of technology and all of those things, access to drugs and all of these things for your children,
the pop and the Molly,
you have to think very
sugar down.
The buses that the children get to go to school, the language and the type of music that is infiltrating their minds, and all of those things you have to take into consideration and say, where are we going as a nation? We have to find the innovative mechanisms of dealing with it, because more and more we're seeing that the 1960s way of dealing with things, it doesn't work out right now. So let us move forward in a pause. These things need all hands on deck.
Correct. So there's this issue happening at I think it's Lodge Secondary. I'm trying to remember if I have the name right. And then there's also what we saw coming out of, is it I Charlton Secondary too, some what they call supernatural
Well,
occurrences,
that's not new.
you know.
Well, let me say that's not new. Well, I don't want to give it a broad frame when it comes to that. But when it comes to those specific instances, a lot of school, especially dorm school, over the years, even when I was in secondary school, was reporting a lot of those.
Yeah.
I think it's at specific points in times.
Yeah.
And
And
those
this is quote
reports are
unquote
coming in.
students fainting,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
You got to be careful.
Yeah.
When 4, 5, 10 students fainting at the same time
Yeah.
for no good reason,
I think a lot more research needs to be put into
Correct,
it because
correct.
what usually what is said is that usually what you hear is that some social media expert or or somebody is going to go and just give a sweeping prediction of what is going on.
Just, yeah.
Some ancient something.
Masakura man or
Exactly, right? And persons don't actually look into what is the scientific cause.
Could be
if
food
that
poisoning
is
too.
where exactly for me
There's
all
that.
those things have
Or it
a
could be
technical
supernatural too.
explanation. So
There's that.
well,
But I think you said right. It needs some investigation.
Good, exactly.
It needs some investigation. So that's happening on that front. And what else is happening? We got anything else happening?
Yes,
I can help it.
And as before looking at the morning paper, also something that we're going to be discussing further in the program. I know Mr. Jordan, he says Jordan's surprised at move for a new lottery company.
Yeah.
And he's not going to hold back.
Mr. Jordan, what
he's not holding back.
What made you think so? What made you think?
Yes.
What made you expect surprise rather? That's a better way to put it.
But he says the Canadian bank it should be eligible for five more years.
Yeah.
And he gives a detailed account. Mr. Jordan has been doing quite a bit on that front. I'm saying that he has been doing quite a bit on that front. So a lot to be discussed as we move forward.
Yeah. Another thing we're going to be talking about as we proceed in our program is the opening of the 9th Summit of the Americas happening in Los Angeles there. A lot of interesting things happening, and you're going to be quite surprised about something that was said at our conference. I deliberately didn't tell you because I want to get your reaction when it said.
Okay.
Right, I want to get your reaction when it said.
I want to hear this one.
But the U.S. president opened. I thought it was and yesterday morning we were talking about when our leaders go overseas if they don't see anything that they want to change to implement. I think the opening of this Summit of the Americas is something you can look and try to not copy necessarily, but copy elements of it. Our national events need a little upgrading. It's the one kind of format you see all the time. You understand why this is a first world country. It was executed effortlessly, flawlessly. Okay. The cultural presentation interwoven into the presentations and speeches that happened there. But we're going to talk some more about this at the other side of the program when we discuss the big issue. We're going to be talking about the Summit of the Americas, Guyana and the Summit of the Americas. But there are the Bidens. There are the Bidens. President Joseph Biden, and Dr. Biden, Dr. Jill Biden there. And, quite an event and quite a lot was said. And we're going to be talking about some of that at the other end. So, folks, stick around. We want to hear from you guys, Roxanne Gary, and all you other fantastic folks, Marilyn Thomas and Iseen Koja. I heard you say the other morning, Iseen. I don't know which of us is right. Iseen. I say ice cream. Iseen Koja, Seymour George, and Ingrid King. Amabel Clement. Folks, share the broadcast for us so that others get valid and credible information. We just said we over 400 watching, over 500 now. We're so grateful. Smash that emoji button. Make we look good with the emojis, folks. Make we look good with the shares. Wherever you guys are joining us from, almost made a boo there. Almost. But that being said, that's one of the things we're covering. Drita, over to you.
Well.
Excuse me, guys.
Since Sharon has been making it so quickly. Well, Sharon is making the functional kitchen as functional as it possibly be. This morning, I am not sure what he's doing in the background.
Sure.
Edward Gonzalez.
Some of the tea spill.
I'm seeing you from the Bronx. Edward Gonzalez, always here. And
Edward
saying pace and power. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Henry, once again. But quite a bit that we're dealing with. One of the things that I want to add my voice to is something that I'm picking up out of one of our international news platforms that basically speaks about about paid leave, and family leave, maternity leave, as you would
Mm-hmm.
have it, paid leave. And I see, as you're seeing it there, guys, emotional slap in the face. Mom wants stillbirths to be covered by paid family leave. And
Interesting.
this particular situation caught my attention specifically
I wonder
because
why.
it is, first of all, it's something that as women we all could relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the women joining today, Sherry, this is not, I'm not sure how much you'll be able to weigh in on this particular matter,
Watch me.
but I hope
Watch me.
I
I ain't
hope
taking
you'll be
left.
able to I hope you will be able to weigh in just as much, because with men as allies on on these things are absolutely important to us women as well. So I just want to give you it in a nutshell. Basically what happened here is that a woman, but when after finding out that she was pregnant, she went and she made inquiries about whether or not she would be getting leave and so forth. And she was told, yes, of course, the family leave is covered for that, about paid family leave is covered for
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
However, at 38 weeks, and for persons that don't know, you go to 40 weeks full term, but to be at 38 weeks, when she was there going for 38 or 36. Let me just not misquote that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, as I am certain that at 36 weeks, when she went for a checkup, she realized that they told her that they were not getting any heartbeat
Mm-hmm.
for the baby. And so they determined the baby to have died inside of her. So when that
Wow.
happens, and they
Wow.
literally schedule with urgency for the baby to be delivered. So mother have to go through that entire process of delivering a stillborn. Nevertheless, when that was over, she went through to have the documentation filed and so for her leave,
Mm-hmm.
because she has she's at the end of that
Mm-hmm.
process. And when she got there, she was told that, oh well, the leave doesn't cover for mothers that have stillbirths, because
She
the
better to go
leave
back to work after
the
that.
leave yeah the leave basically is put in place, and this is what is being reported. The leave is put in place so that persons only you're eligible for a leave so that you can bond with your baby. And this has been getting quite a stir in the US. And I know this is not something that is US based. This is something that women around the world could basically relate to. And when these discussions are being had, we all need to add our voices to it,
Mm-hmm.
because even at the local level, these things need not be. I will be doing a lot of my own research to see what is the system in Guyana as it pertains to this. But what I can tell you is that it is unimaginable for me. And sometimes I want to know, if men sit down and make these policies and these policy decisions,
I feel
as
attacked.
to, no, it is, and I am attacking. I'm
I
very
feel
much attacking
attacked.
right now, because I don't understand how that is the
No, if it's
vision.
women, what are you gonna say?
No, I don't
You
understand. That's what
surprised?
I'm saying. I don't understand. That's my exact words right now. I'm very careful with my words. I don't understand what who the policymakers are when the provision being put there for leave is for you to bond with your baby. What about a woman's body having to be healed and all of that? So there's a lot of discussions, particularly on these matters. These matters go forward. The discussions are had, and I particularly this one should be going before the court, and that is something a position I will be supporting heavily, because women, after your body has gone through all of those changes, it's ridiculous for persons not to be given the opportunity to heal
Mm.
if they
Interesting.
have a
Yeah.
stillborn. So I thought that was very something that we all need to be informed about, when it comes to things, anything to do with your body and all of the Roe versus Wade and all of that, all the talks that are coming back to the forefront right now. These things are right up that alley.
Mm-hmm.
It involves a lot of persons, women throughout the world look to these things and the discussions of whether or not the decisions and the laws are set in stone in the US for certain things.
Yep.
These things have a ripple effect as it comes to the rest of the world. So I intend to see a lot of organization that represents women and so forth stepping forward and putting a position on this throughout the world.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yes.
More power to women.
Yeah.
More power to women. Closer to home, guys. Closer to home. Look what we are tracking. Coming up, guys. Coming up. Look what we're tracking. Did you read that? The Vice News program.
I think my sigh alone is
The
going
Voice.
I think my sigh alone is going to tell you where Vice News, guys. You know, Vice News has been doing quite a bit of work, and the long anticipated documentary on Guyana, based on the investigations that were being had early in the year. The long awaited documentary now is being advertised on Showtime.
Yeah.
Because Showtime does a documentary with Vice News, rather does a documentary on Showtime, and Showtime has now put it up on their schedule to be aired on June 19. But what is most
8 p.m. Sunday, June 19. Give me the precise date. I hope NCM should, GPI, all them lock on.
I hope
right?
so too.
I hope they lock on. That's what's happening, folks. Share the damn life, guys. And smash the emoji button so others get valid and credible information. You all remember Isabel Young, Isabel Young, Vice News, and that infamous interview. Well, we can see the rest.
Well,
we can see the what role that play in this documentary coming up. Read up.
No, but I was just about to say, one of the most interesting parts is the heading.
Tell us.
The heading that Vice News is
carrying. The title of the documentary. Tell them what's the title.
It's crazy.
Tell them this.
Guyana for sale.
Guyana for sale.
Guyana for sale.
More's rising.
Right? But Guyana for sale. That's how it
That's
starts.
Interesting. I'm going to tickle my fancy.
Guyana
I feel like my
for
spine
sale,
tingle a little bit. Guyana for sale.
I
think I know where that goes.
If this is not, if we cannot have a unified position when it comes to this, as citizens of this country, then something's wrong with us, right? If we do not see the need to protect our territory and our borders and all of that, and protect the patches of land, to make sure that ourselves, our children, and the next generation is going to have something to say. I am Guyanese, and this belongs to us.
Yeah.
So this is a very very, very, very worrying piece that may be coming to us. I can say
very much so.
The title alone of
interesting times ahead, folks. Interesting times ahead.
Come on.
Interesting time. We're gonna be following that. Folks. I can live in a popcorn and my cokes.
So nobody can bother me at that time.
Yeah.
I can say that.
Yeah. Bother me afterwards. That during 8 to whatever. Showtime, folks. Showtime. Ingrid King said, can't wait. I can't wait neither. It's going to be showed on Showtime at 8 p.m. on Sunday. Give you a precise time and date. Sunday.
The 19th.
Showtime. The 19th.
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, BJ. Papa Jagabat. Happy Father's Day.
I think that was a little strange,
Dreams will be dashed.
Only
hopes crash.
I learned that the 19th will be Father's Day.
Believe it or not. How many of you so eager to celebrate Father's Day, man? I could see you all out there shopping, looking, Amazoning and so forth. I could imagine how excited you guys are for Father's Day. Certainly, I'm certain you all knew Sunday's Father's Day.
No one knew, sir. No one knew. We just told everyone.
Wap. You're wicked, Pamela. You're wicked. Pamela said Guyana for sale. Yep, that's it. Suzette
Guyana
Washington, Pamela Dover, and all the other folks. Put it on your calendar, folks. Put it on your calendar.
This is crazy. It's crazy, and when we looked, I think one specifically, if we're to recap on all that went on, but specifically the clip that we saw, and we've made a point several times that clip that was released. We can see it was just a part, It was edited. It was
just a part, people.
It was not the full thing.
Oh, so can't wait for Sunday.
Yes, so it would be interesting to see the context in which that is put
Do
forward.
Your birthday isn't Sunday?
Thank God, no.
Oh, because I hope you weren't so malicious. To put your birthday on Sunday the night.
19th. That's the 19th.
That?
No, but it's not.
You're close by. You're on the car now.
I'm the Thursday after.
Good.
So
we're
good.
I hope you bring your cake if we cut it.
Oh,
right,
wow.
Folks, some other stuff happening. We got some other stuff happening as well on the local scene too, and this is not very good at all. This is what we're following out of. This is what Region 5. We got some issues in this country,
Yeah.
Right. We see the pandemic on the roads, and also abuse and interspousal violence and so on, violence, that kind of stuff. And here, Region 5 is telling us they're recording, significant increase in statutory rape.
Yeah.
Region 5.
Yeah. But first of all, what persons need to understand is everybody should know but we're going to say it nevertheless, it's statutory rape. And what is statutory rape? And basically, statutory rape refers to, non, and it's been stated here also in the article, that the non-forcible sexual activity in which one of the individual is below the age of consent. And in this case, Guyana's age of consent is 16 years old. So an adult cannot engage in sexual activity with someone below the age of 16 and say, well, oh, well, I did, it wasn't rape, I didn't force that person or so forth, because oh, well, a lot
they
of
quote
times,
unquote consented, quote unquote.
a lot of times, I've been hearing this a whole lot. As parents, we need to be very, very careful with our
Tell
children.
us, tell us.
I've been hearing this a whole lot. A person says, oh, this is my boyfriend and this is my girlfriend. You can't have boyfriends and girlfriends if you kids. Like, when it comes to relationship, and I think parents need to have hard conversations with your children, and a lot of times parents don't want to have it, but I'm saying you can't have the 1960s methodologies in dealing with issues of 2022. It's not going to work. And in 2022, your children have access to so many information, especially when it comes to sexuality and sexual content over there on all platforms. So you have to break that barrier, because as you know, and I can tell you this, I know I'm not speaking from my own personal experience alone, but Guyanese as a whole, people used to be like, it's a hush thing. You can't discuss matters of sexuality and sexual activities all together with your parents. And so, but we have to do it, because if we're not telling them and if we're not guiding them, then somebody else will. And it's not okay, for persons to believe that they can go out, children going out to making adult decisions, children going out there and actually participating in adult activities. Having sex is adult activity, and no one below the age of 16. For me alone, if you are not legal age as an adult, then you have no business, participating. That's the way in which you have to do. We have to have a conversation.
Very much so.
We fall trap
Very much
to
so.
these things, because nobody didn't just happen. We just didn't drop down at the age we are right now. We have been through these things, and we know the challenges and the difficulty. But I have to say that the situation that persons are reporting is very, very alarming. And I want to read specifically when it comes to the report, and here the regional commander of region number 5, which is Mahika Burbees, and he's saying here that when we look at other serious crimes, it has murder, robberies, burglary, break and entry, and larceny. Those figures are actually in the negative. But he's saying, contrastingly, we have a 300% increase in rape.
Wow.
Right? A 300% increase in rape. Region 5. Right? This is Guyana. We're talking about so many things. And I've been making a point a little earlier. We have to have more innovative ways of dealing with these things. Parents need to realize that this is not a long time. You have to have the conversation with your children. You have to tell them the harsh reality, the harsh truth. I remember I was so much grown when you realize like how a woman gets a baby and all of that, And it's crazy because I've exposed my children to that bit of information. It's like, oh well, the biology of the human body, it's just a normal day. So they're not going to be excited about these level of things. We can, I think, encourage, and a lot of times also I want to make this point. I don't know how you're going to see it. I've never had this conversation with shared before prior.
Tell me.
However, I see this hype being given to boys when it comes to having a girlfriend. Like, it's a hype. Oh, your son is 13 years old. That's a girlfriend. That's a girl must bring home. It gives, and I see parents consciously or unconsciously giving this hype as though it is something great and all of that to their son. So you can bring home a girlfriend, is okay and all of that. So they have this ideology that they are above their age, and it's not so. And I don't see no one sitting their children down and say, oh, you want to talk about girlfriend, but well, with adult activities comes adult responsibilities, and these are the things that when you make certain decisions, these are the implications of your decisions. So who's having these conversations, and where the mentorship groups that I'm talking specifically to things like through the church and youth groups and all of those things. A lot of mentorship needs to be done in this regard so that young people will understand it's not okay to go out on that. But let me tell you something. I have a 16-year-old daughter, and that is not something that is going to be up my avenue. I don't believe that children should be utilizing cell phones as they will and all of those things. I think that their gentle, tender minds need to be protected and nurtured, and it's our responsibility to create that firewall ourselves when it comes to guys and on the way in which persons access your children and all of that. Is most ridiculous that I believe I see children in primary school, little girls in primary school with cell phones. Y'all could come at me for it because parents have very, very different ideas in how children should be monitored these days. I believe that sometimes we get carried away as parents and we believe, I didn't have it and I want to give my children what I didn't have and all of that. So you go in that line to provide them with things that they don't need and opening a can of worms and opening access to your children's mind beyond your comprehension. Guess what? You won't call my children. My daughter got a phone when she's 16 years old. And if anybody wants to communicate with her prior to that, they will call my phone. Otherwise to that, she'll communicate with her friends in school. And you have to be that protective parent. And I still sit down and have the conversation with her. I sit down and I talk to her about confidence and all of that. I said, when you're at a certain age, you reach 14, 15, when you are those tender age, boys will come and they will be like, oh, you're looking nice today and all. That's not for you to feel like, oh wow, he's saying that I'm looking pretty. He must be somewhat interested in me and I must be special. No, they're gonna come in the hundreds. It's never gonna stop. You're gonna get old. You're gonna be in your 40s. They're still gonna be coming at you because that is their DNA to come at you. And I tell my daughter, I said, you must be confident in who you are, confident in yourself, your body image, your perception. I said, because once you lack confidence, and I always say, boys smell insecurity like a shark smell blood. If he feels a woman is insecure about something, he's gonna go, oh, this is so lovely about you, she's insecure about her hair. Oh, your hair is beautiful. And so guys have a unique way of doing this. I'm saying all of this to say it is not by accident that we are seeing reports, these astronomical figures right now, 300% increase in rape. Absolute nonsense. We have to address the issue. We have to see that children are always there making adult decisions and it's not okay. And we have to make sure that we are there as their firewall to just fend off all of those negativities and those negative influences of technological advancement.
We just can't lose if we are there more for our kids. Other things that are happening though, as we talked about in the beginning of the program, Mr. Jordan, the former finance minister, is saying that he's quite surprised by the move for a new lottery company. They left intact a good what do you call it, contract for I think a 10-year period of time. And he's surprised that there's now discussion for a new lottery company. And this administration is this administration. That's all I want to say. This regime is this regime, and they can do what they want to do.
Anytime that decisions are made, I think what one needs to continue to acknowledge, and not just acknowledge, because we have all been acknowledging the facts that have been before us, and it goes hand in hand with the headline and the title of the Vice Media documentary that's coming, Guyana for Sale. And every time something happens, and I always say, every investment that has been made thus far is an investment that is geared with kickbacks. That is what is going on. That is the fact that is out there. Once there is a kickback, something is pushed forward. So when you see announcements like these, based on the track record thus far, you question, well, my obvious question comes to, who's getting it? Who are the players involved? Who are the negotiators in this particular matter? Because it goes back to, if there's not a kickback, then these things will not be pushing forward. And the fact of the matter is, when these things are being reported in the news, it's the last phase of it. There's no discussion as to whether or not we should go in this direction. When the kickbacks and all those agreements are made, then persons come forward and they say that this is what's going to happen. But Guyanese are extremely smart, and everybody is realizing every single day that these things do not benefit the ordinary man. It does not. It never does. And there's somebody that is going to be walking out as a billionaire at the end of it. And we are not okay with that. It's not It's definitely not okay for
Gotta
the
do
country
more.
to
We
go
gotta
on
do
like
more. We
that.
gotta do more. We gotta do more to safeguard what belongs to us as a people. And um, I, I think the overriding interest of the regime is what's in it for me, for us. And whatever happens,
Yeah.
happens. But as we're following that, we're also, guys, following what is considered, who is considered one of our local TikTok stars, Lisa Ramnarain, who was arrested, I think it was yesterday, for all intents and purposes for trafficking in cocaine. Apparently, from the reports we have been gathering, uh, she would have posted a package through DHL, a package of religious items. And in those religious items was cocaine, at least a pound of cocaine. Right? And this is one of the young people who, one of the influencers on TikTok, one of the local influencers on TikTok, And just recently we were covering the other young lady, Miss Williams, Zenil Williams, the niece to Sonia Parag, Minister Sonia Parag's niece, who was caught at Chalijagan International Airport trying to cart off and carry out some cocaine as well. That was about 2-3 weeks ago. She has gone, they said, for psych evaluation, taking a very long time. But now Lisa Ramnarain is caught up in this foolishness. Our young people, again, our young people, but if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. But I can tell you, she's not the intellectual author of this. Where's a 21-year get a pound of cocaine from? She growing it outside in the backyard? She import it to export it? Oh, all right. All right.
I want to cover this. I want to talk about this two fronts.
TikTok star.
I want to take a twofold approach on this particular discussion.
Yep.
And the first thing I want to say is that this individual, Lisa Ramnarain, she's someone that I myself has grown pretty fond of her little TikTok videos. She put it over in raw Guyanese Creole terms, and
she's very frank. Just let's
very
let's just say that very frank and colorful with her language.
Whatever
very frank.
And I want to tie it into something that I've been, like I just said, when we are looking at the issues that are arising today, we need to understand that things are going to be arising today, challenges to young people today. That was not there 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, we did not have to worry about your child being out there as a social media influencer and the negative attention that could bring to your child, in a way in which you should be protecting your children altogether. It is never okay for us to scratch the surface of these things. It is never okay. If we're to have real conversations, we're going to go back to the discussions that we had at this very table before. And those discussions entail that when it comes to drug and exportation, drug traffic and all those things, the mechanism and the structure in play is designed for the people at the bottom to take the fall. And I have been warning young people in particular not to get yourself involved in these things. Do not go the route, because when the rubber hits the road, if anyone is left to take the fall, it is always going to be you. People have a unique way, these traffickers altogether, and I've been following too much documentaries throughout the world on these particular matters. When people and it's always the case, when big shipments of drugs have to go through, they always implicate some young, ordinary, don't have much sense person to take the fall. And when that fall is being taken simultaneously, the big shipment goes through. That is the disguise that it has been going throughout the world. This is not something that is unique to Guyana alone, but we are seeing, and we've been saying that since the current administration has come back in office, the amount of cases that we are seeing today is a startling reminder of prior to 2015 and all the reports that was coming out then. But I want to put out a warning to young people out there, especially persons that are utilizing social media. It's good. And with every positive that you can derive through technological use, there are things I can refer to as negative externalities. The negative externalities, yes, I'm seeing you're taking a comment up.
No, I was pointing to a comment that says, I think it was Marlon says the Hindu god skin shop. And then somebody else says everything now is mental health and mental examination.
Yes.
Yep.
Marna just said, sacrificial lambs, and that's what it is. That's what it is. That young woman doesn't know anything about no mechanism of shipping and cooking. Somebody looking at her convinced her that, oh, you're gonna be all right and this and that.
We
But
got you.
the biggest underlying issue that you're looking at there is the fact that there is a lot of persons out there, a lot of young people. And I know I read her story. It took me back to the situation, I think, with the 18-year-old that they found drugs under her bed in her home when they did that raid.
Yes.
And I said right here that that's a setup. And I said right here that the persons at the top is not going to be identified and all of that. And again, you're seeing the same situation. Let me tell you something. Even if those young people identify the persons at the top, we are yet to see any such decisions be made to pull them before the court ever. Ever. And I make a plea to young people, be smart,
Stay on the right side of the law.
Social media has provided a platform for you to be out there, but when you are out there, you're exposed as well. And there are hundreds of different people that will come and say, oh, no, nobody would touch you. You got thousands of people following you and all of that. Nobody's going to suspect you for this and that. Do not be set up. Let us be smart. Young people, be smart. Young people are extremely smart. Don't let adults come along the line and set you up. Drugs is a no-no. Anything illegal is a no-no. People come to you and they try to solicit your involvement. Even I understand times are hard. It's extremely difficult. But we have to rise above that attempt to go an illegal route to make a few dollars at the end of the day. And I have to say, my next point that I have to say is that a lot of times we are seeing persons, social media influencers and they believe the hype. This is about the hype. Young people are craving a hype like never before, and they want to be out there. They want to be looking their best. They want to be traveling and
but
all
then
that.
work hard,
And
but then this way.
Exactly. And
work hard, but then this way.
Those things take money. We have to hold our, young people, you have to hold yourselves accountable, right? You can't go out there and just want to be a part of some in crowd at any cost, because the cost right now is your freedom.
Yep.
It is not okay. You have to question. And I always say the question comes back to what you value more. What do you value more? When it comes to value in your life, you're not going to be involved in gangs and all those things and shootouts and all of that. When you value your freedom, you're not going to be involved in shipping cocaine and all of that. You have to value those things more. You have to place a value on yourself that no one could come to you and tell you that, oh, well, you diminish your value a little bit for this one time. No, value yourself more and don't get involved in all of those nonsense. Very sad, very sad learning of that young lady there, but an example to so many others out there that may have been approached by these mafia representatives.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Right?
At all.
That may have been approached by them. If you have been approached, it's never too late. Just cut it off right now. Just cut it off. You're too valuable. You are the future of this country. Don't go down that road. I make a plea with young people because there's too many of them out there involved in things as such.
Yep. Which brings us to the big issue today, folks. Which brings us to the big issue, and we're talking about, we said at the beginning of the program, Guyana and the Summit of the Americas. Lots of things went down last evening. Lots of things. How many of you watched it? How many of you watched it? How many of you? Hashtag Summit of the Americas. How many of you watched it? Linda Webster, what about you? Did you watch it? Did you watch the opening? Bennett Anderson and Carl Fordyce, what about you? You watched it? Lynette Fraser, what about you? Jurita, you watched it? The opening?
Sadly, I was
you went
otherwise. No, I did not. I was otherwise engaged.
Oh, you were otherwise engaged. Go on.
I have.
Go on from there.
I think I have more party work being done.
Oh, you were party?
No, I think I have more party work being done in these.
You're hosting a party?
Political party.
Oh, I see. You see? Language and logic.
I am. We have to be concerned.
I wonder if you're going to backball too.
No. We have to be concerned of what has been said at the Summit of the Americas and so forth. But as a political representative, I have to be more concerned. Most concerned about where we position ourselves as a political party moving forward. So I wasn't able to look at this, but I will be drilling into it.
Drilling in, I like the term. Drilling. I like when people drilling. So, folks, the 9th Summit of the Americas happened. The opening happened last evening. It happened last evening, and the Summit of the Americas is a gathering of leaders from North, South, and Central America and the Caribbean. It's a gathering of leaders, and they look at issues that might be common to them. This is the 9th Summit of the Americas. It's being held in Los Angeles, right? California is being held. I wish I was in California right now, right? It's being held there, folks. And, as part of this, Mr. Biden would have said one region is large, our region rather is large and diverse. We don't always agree on everything.
Latoya watched it.
But
Yes,
because we're democracies, we work through our disagreements with mutual respect and dialogue. It was a fantastic, as I said when we were starting, a fantastic opening there. And one of the things that I love is both the mayor of Los Angeles and the governor of the state of California were both part of that event. And one of the things that they emphasize is how diverse California is. I think they said 4 in 5, something like that was the ratio of the people who live in California came from someplace else other than the US. So it's a very diverse state, but how they work together, and being a country, multi-ethnic country, I thought what we could learn from them,
the democracy,
because they were so energized and they were really celebrating the fact that what makes California and Los Angeles so different from the rest of the US is the fact that you have so many persons who are living there who come from different backgrounds, and that was one of the things that was highly celebrated. And I hope that if one of them were looking, and they took away something. He got in, as we showed you there, he got in a photograph with the US president. That was one, but all the other leaders got in a photograph too. So that and nothing special about that. They were just being good hosts, and they took a photograph. He seemed to be a little out of step with some of what was happening. He didn't seem to know quite where to stand, to move, and that kind of stuff. And I don't know, but he was a little out of step, a little bit there. But that's one of the things we are looking at. But he seemed to have had a handshake too that went off without a hitch. I don't know if he bullied Biden or Biden bullied him, but he seemed to have got a handshake there. He got the handshake right on the international stage. He actually shook hands with somebody who extended their hands to him first. That's how you do it.
Politics is
that's how you do it. You don't just go bullying people. Shake my hand, because you want a photo up, right? In this case, when somebody outstretch your hand, you outstretch your hand. You don't go tapping people to look at you.
I think that I think you said it prior, even on this
show. He got the handshake right.
He has been presented with an opportunity that no other leader from the beginning in this country has been presented with. And when it comes to the resource that is basically under his stewardship for all intents and purposes, that should be based on the office that he holds, and because of that, it is expected that persons would want to, facilitate conversation and all of that, because geopolitics is so complex.
Yeah,
I'm not the expert in that regard, but I do know that when it comes to the benefits that are there, and I think that Vice Media says Guyana for Sale is going to be quite quite an interesting way to. I'm going to be putting that into all my basic conversation when it comes to the way in which they
like story, huh? You like story, huh?
I'm just being a little facetious, but I can tell you that a lot to be said about what is going to go on, but I see a lot of pleasures actually being made, especially when it comes to, and I see here, as it's being reported on one of our local news, from Guyana plans strong case for fairness, new trade system at the Summit of the Americas.
Well, I hope so. I hope.
But this goes back.
You take some of the advice.
Yeah, this goes back to a conversation that we were having even when they had the Agri Expo here locally, and there were so many Caribbean representatives in the country, heads of state and so forth in the country, and that was the one thing that was brought out, that the policy, and I've made this point several times, we're talking about growing and integration and collaboration so that we can build together. But then I have made a point, and I reiterated a point made by Raouli when he was saying that barriers needs to be removed, but then the status quo would have to be disturbed. and the willingness of nations to actually go in that direction.
It's another story altogether.
Where it goes. Yeah. So again, I see plans and promise and all of those things. But again, I'm going to say, you have to bring the framework forward for us to see, because for me, I've been dealing and I've been hearing a lot of plans, particularly from this administration. But when it comes to the actual work to be had and the actual policies to be implemented, it is always something that is pushed back. The can is always kicked further down the road until they find a mechanism that they can personally benefit. Not that a mechanism for Guyana to benefit, but unless they find a mechanism so that they can personally reap basically squeeze the juice out of the agreement, they continue to kick that can on the road. They're going to say, we promise to do this and we promise to do that, and it's going to go forward. But I do believe it is impossible. It is almost impossible. Let me put it over like that. For them to not have relaxations and so forth when it comes to certain barriers, it is impossible, because you can't just say that you're going down this road of having this integration and collective work to achieve a collective purpose and not go down that road. So I intend to see some bit of announcements, but I'll be
lots to get done on the whole. But this is lots to get on the whole. But this is Irfan arriving for that event in Los Angeles, the 9th Summit of the Americas. Get.
You didn't tell me it was a scheduled handshake.
But it was a scheduled handshake.
You didn't say that.
I told you that everybody got a handshake. It's
you have to say it the right way.
All right, rewind. It was a scheduled handshake.
It was a scheduled handshake.
It was a schedule. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary
on the program
at all. It was right there. So missing his place. They're a little excited on the world stage.
Yeah, listening, but they're put it together. I have to give it to
But
the US put it together.
They had a fantastic presentation. We were talking about some of what came out of that. So I think Biden had a very sweeping agenda for the Americas, and he laid that out last night. Here is some of what he said, and I'm going to see if anything stands out to Jarida. We didn't tell her, quite a lot, because, that she might have been watching. So who are we?
I was not.
So here's Biden talking about some of the agenda for the Summit of the Americas, this 9th Summit of the Americas. And I hope them boys were listening, as I hope Drita's going to be listening to. Here's what Biden said.
Initial response coming right up.
Here's what Biden said as part of his presentation, guys. Share the damn live stream and smash the emoji button. He didn't say that. I'm saying that. But here's what he said.
Earlier today, we announced a new America Health Corps with 50,000 public health and medical professionals being trained in the region over the next 5 years to help strengthen our health systems throughout the hemisphere. In the next few days, we'll be rolling out another new initiative, created in cooperation with many of your countries. It includes the U.S. Caribbean Partnership to address the climate crisis, which the Vice President Harris will lead for our country. And a collaboration among the United States, Argentina, Brazil, Canada, Chile, and Mexico, the hemisphere's largest exporters of food, to increase food production for export, as well as increase fertilizer production for transportation. Our leaders, all of us, as we discuss ways to better target more than $500 million of the United States is devoting to increasing security for our citizens, working with partners to disrupt transnational criminal organizations, go after drug traffickers and illicit firearms, advancing anti-corruption efforts, and strengthening the rule of law. And tonight, I'm announcing a new economic partnership that builds on all the work we have done with the region and will guide our engagement going forward. We're calling it America's Partnership for Economic Prosperity, and it's grounded on the same core values that my administration is bringing to our own strong economic recovery and to bolster long-term economic competitiveness in the United States. First, the American Partnership will help economies grow from the bottom up and the middle out, not the top down. What's true in the United States is true in every country. Trickle-down economics does not work. But when we invest in strengthening workers and the middle class, the poor have a ladder up, and those at the top do just fine. That's how we can increase opportunity and decrease persistent inequity. We need to break the cycle where marginalized communities are hit the hardest by disasters and have the fewest resources to recover from crises and prepare for the next one. Together, we have to invest in making sure our trade is sustainable and responsible in creating supply chains that are more resilient, more secure, and more sustainable. By working with close friends who share our values, we can make sure that we are not left vulnerable to unexpected shocks while generating economic opportunity for the people in our region. Second, America's Partnership will foster innovation and help governments deliver for their own people. People everywhere expect their government to help give them just a little bit of breathing room.
Yep. President of the United States and host of the 9th Summit of the Americas in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. Well, Shirley's going to get my initial response to that, because I wasn't, and I see why he was waiting on my initial response, because like I said, I didn't get a chance to look at it as yet. But there you have it, none other than the President of the United States of America just stating it there, trickle-down economics does not work.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And
yep.
I think that I've said it so many times that you probably have it banging in the back of your head by now. The fact that every single policy measure put forward by the People's Progressive
Denny Champion got it too.
Right?
You hear your fun? Trickle down economics
does not work.
Yeah.
And I've been saying this is not something I've been saying now. Listen, I started, I'm a brand new member of parliament. I started at the National Assembly in 2020. My very first presentation in the National Assembly, I addressed this matter. My very first presentation, I can go back to script it out, and I said the same thing. I said, trickle-down economics does not work. It does not work. Supply side, it does not work. All right. And I continue to say it repeated times. I even said, sometimes I felt like I was on a pathway for a couple of months on my own there, but then I saw all the media picked up on it. It does not work. And this is something that I'm very happy that Biden took the time to basically hammer it in there. Those
Biden was in the fine form last night.
Yeah, he was.
He had a broad, sweeping presentation. And, if they put shoulders to the wheel, they can accomplish something for this hemisphere, as we said, Central, North, and the Caribbean, making up the countries there that partner for the Summit of the Americas.
But I'm not
that makes up that. North, South, Central America, and the Caribbean. I just want to get my notes right.
But I don't want to, in addition to that, Biden made a very profound statement, to say the least. And he spoke about...
The whole thing was profound,
No.
The whole thing was profound.
I specifically look at different issues. And this is my, like I said, initial reaction. I haven't had a chance to dive in specifically to what plans they probably have afoot to deal with some of these things. But he spoke about the Caribbean and the U.S. having partnership, and then he said very directly there when he spoke about increased food production for export. And I am most interested in whatever policy decisions and policy paper they're putting forth from the level of the U.S. when it comes to food security, because they're talking about increased food production for export. And I want to know from where, because we have recently had an agri-expo here in which we are talking about decreasing our importation by 25% by the year 2025. We are talking about decreasing our importation of food by 25%. So I want to see the fine print of these of that particular policy decision that he is speaking about from the US as it pertains to the policy decisions that are being mouted here, because we haven't seen any paper and any framework that is geared in that direction as yet. So I want to see where is a conflict there altogether. So that is something that we have to keep an eye out for. But very much important, and he did stress there when it comes to the trickle-down economics, and he was speaking about grassroots basically and decreasing the persistent inequity. And we have been talking about this. Let's be fair, guys. I hammer this daily. Every single day I speak about it. I speak about inequality in our country. I speak about the fact of which persons are pretending that there's a level playing field when there's inequity in the way in which person can access the benefits. Yes.
I don't want to miss this comment, but Jeffrey Bowery said he rubbed it into earphone. He rubbed it into earphone. Right. Inequity is wrong. Yes. And trickle-down economics don't work. But you know, as we talk about that, quite incidentally, Starbucks News has an editorial which is talking to some of the government's policies. And you can see Starbucks News is really and truly taking aim at the inequity. This is just this morning, and I want to show that just for a second. Yes. It's taking aim at this whole notion of the inequity in what has been happening here. Take a read of this. This is the header for the editorial is "Give a Man a Fish." It says that as probably should have been expected. And they're talking about, for instance, this 100,000 was 150,000 that was given to children with disabilities. As one of the issues they're focusing on this editorial, they say, as probably should have been expected. The question now arises whether other affected and vulnerable groups might experience the same largesse. Is there a lavish handout, for instance, outstretched to, for example, adults with disabilities who are in dire financial straits? What about old age pensioners and other marginalized groups? If we're talking about equity, right? And what's the other word there? Not only equity, inequality, yes, and all of that, remedying that. Is there a plan for adults with disabilities who are in dire financial straits? What about old age pensioners and other marginalized groups? He says already there have been a formal request made by the Region 4, the Mahaica Regional Chairman Daniel Siram, on behalf of the residents of his region, via a letter to the editor published in the newspapers on June 1. The editorial goes on to say, while the conditions befalling those who have benefited thus far cannot be argued with, this is sugar workers, children with disabilities, and all of that, there is no escaping the fact that the global pandemic precipitated a disproportionate threat to many of the already vulnerable who might not necessarily fall into any of the aforementioned beneficiary categories. On the other hand, there could very well be families that fall into 2 or 3 of those groups. And unless serious cross-checking was done, which does not seem to be the case given the ad hoc nature of the handouts, there might be families raking in windfalls while others remain bereaved. This again, Starbucks News just this morning talking about the inequities of some of the policies the administration has picked up. And the night after, Biden talks to regional leaders about, again, inequities, equity in the distribution of the largesse, and all of that, and telling them very, very frontally, in no veiled way, trickle-down economics does not work.
That is correct.
Does not work.
I'm so happy. I'm always happy when I have persons like with a louder voice. We try, we come out and we do our part. But when people with louder voice and they're on a larger platform and they make these and they speak of these matter, it just goes to the facts. Mm-hmm. It's added as a fact. To what we've been discussing throughout. There has not been one instance in which I wavered from my position when it comes to that, because it's a fact, and I've said consistently that there is no economy that has proven at any point in time that trickle-down economics work. But yet we have persons within our administration here in Guyana that has the face to tell us that, we're going to give the benefits to the persons at the top, and the benefits will trickle down to you at the bottom. They have the face and the gall,
the gumption,
the gumption
yeah,
to come and tell persons that this is the way
yeah,
in which it's going to happen. And I always say that once there is no direct incentive or policy measure that is put in place that will directly go to the people, then it doesn't make sense. And I always make the point, Mr. Jordan, I have to come back to so many things that was done under his stewardship, and Mr. Jordan did it the direct way. He made very well sure that the system and taxation system that he's looking at, he was structuring it in such a way to make sure. And then Biden just said it, the person at the top, they're going to be okay.
yeah,
they
yeah,
will
yeah.
be okay.
Them boys.
So what if they can't buy the fifth yacht? So what if they can't just order something from from another country to eat if they want for dinner? So what if they can't get the extra private jet? So what? And he's basically saying that we have to address these real issues. Guys, we have been consistently hammering and drumming at this particular matter. And I'm going to say it again. We cannot accept right here in Guyana that persons are going to get on the television and they're going to tell us that at the end of it all, we are cushioning these persons at the top because they're going to create more jobs for you. They're going to do this for you. I have been consistently mentioning and giving you examples. We went to the National Assembly in February. The budget was presented for 2022. We saw the price, the cost for security at the various government locations have gone up by millions of dollars. But when you get into whether or not they're employing more people, no. Did you raise the wages and salary of the current staff? No. But you're increasing. Oh, it's going to trickle down. It's going to trickle. It doesn't work. It never worked before, and it's not going to work now. And we have to be calling those folks out right now. But I'm not going to pretend that Biden did not say that they're going to look at increased security. And he made specific reference to drug traffickers. Specific mention to drug traffickers when he spoke about increased security. And this is something that we know where this goes, and we know how Guyana stand in this particular department. So very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
As the Summit of the Americas opened last evening. But interestingly enough, there was something interesting happening at that summit as well. The First Lady went missing.
Well, I'm not sure where that came in, but I think that I have to look at it again, like I say.
So the First Lady arrived at the Summit of the Americas. We know that much. Okay. That she arrived at the Summit of the Americas because she was photographed with Irfan and some other local folks on the ground in Los Angeles. Right? They're meeting some of their counterparts when they arrived. But then, we don't know what happened in between that time, because as we will have showed you guys, I'm just pulling up some of the other stuff here. Yeah, as we will have showed you guys just now, in that opening video, there you had Irfan arriving at the summit by himself. This is the arrival there.
But we have a different. And I think our culture and our
hold on.
It's crazy.
Hold on.
I'm gonna get it.
So we have that happening. This is the photograph of him arriving by himself. Right, at the summit. She's listed as part of the official contingent to the Summit of the Americas. She's listed as part of the official contingent. That's happening there. And I want to show you guys other world leaders who went to the summit and how and what the summit catered for. Yep. So that was the opening. So we showed you guys already that he greeted President Joseph Biden and his wife by himself, while other world leaders had their spouses. And we know that Ari Ali was listed as part of the official delegation. We saw him arriving by himself as well. So why didn't the First Lady attend the opening of the Summit of the Americas? She's part of the official contingent, and we see other spouses there for regional leaders. And then we see Ali here coming in by himself. This is him walking in. We didn't get the benefit of video for this part, but then you see him at the back there. That's him walking by himself. And then here's another photograph. So the question is being asked, where's the First Lady? And why didn't she attend?
But I'm looking at the seat, and as this is organized there, I'm not seeing any seat vacant next to him. So I don't know what that spells out, whether or not that she was actually a part of that list of the delegation, probably from our list here, so but probably not from.
So you're telling me that they invited all the other first ladies,
no,
all the other heads of government and their spouse.
But I think we have.
Interestingly enough, that's interesting. But
I think
people are asking, where's the First Lady?
I think when we actually look at the way in which the PUP administration operates, they're not their leaders are not the ones that have ever been that type of leader to walk around with their spouse. This is probably something that
But I don't understand that.
This is probably a code for them, because if you check on other leaders, I know specifically if you go back to David Granger, Sandra Granger, she's there beside him, and especially at these forums and so forth. So like it's very interesting to note, because if you go back to the previous leaders in the PPP party, you would probably see the same picture being repeated. They probably have some unspoken.
No, but this has implication, because if you're traveling on taxpayers' money, you're part of the official contingent. You leave to go to the Summit of Americas, but then at least we know you arrive in Los Angeles, but then you don't attend. What's happening there? That has to concern us. We're paying their salaries. That has to concern us. It's not whether they want to do something or not. Did the First Lady fell ill? The country needs to know that. Did the First Lady go shopping? The country needs to know that. Right? Can you imagine if when you went to Barbados, to that conference, you end up on a beach on the day of the conference?
The beach was right here. It was
no. If you went to taxpayers' money to do something, you have to do it. You have to turn up, or you're a public figure. This is what you represent. The country needs to know, did the First Lady take ill? And that's why she couldn't show up. What happened? She was running late. What transpired? This is part of the official delegation. You need to turn up and show up. Right? As you could see, all of the other leaders there in the hemisphere who had a spouse.
Well, I can agree with Sheridan 100% on it. Once, if you're listed part of an official delegation, then that's a delegation that you need to be out there represented, because there are funding that goes hand in hand with being listed as a part of an official delegation altogether. So that is something that everybody needs to be concerned about, because you don't want persons to just be going out there and doing anything as a part of an official delegation and then just not being actually at the event. So that's what I was asking.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it wasn't important in her eyes. Maybe.
Yeah, but I think there's more. I think there's a little bit more.
There's always more. There's always more.
There's a little bit more to that, because most definitely. When you see first world leaders, they're always there. They present this picture that yes, they're here with their spouses and so forth. So it's very interesting that all of those spouses present, but we did not see the First Lady there. So
interesting.
Needs to be concerned indeed.
Interesting.
But all of that being said and done, we have to come back to some things that we pointed out, and I want to just hammer it in as we wrap up on this particular discussion when it comes to the fact that Biden emphasized that trickle-down economics does not work. Biden emphasized that they're looking at partnership between the Caribbean and the USA, highlighting when it comes to food security and their need and their intent to be looking into increased production for food production for export. That is the fact that they're looking at security and especially as it pertains to things like drug traffickers and all of those things. Those things have specific implications to the policies and that we are developing even here at home, and things that and policy measures at the Caribbean and CARICOM and all of those and all involved is looking at, because you want to see where the conflict may arise with all the policy direction that the US is taking, probably against that of CARICOM, the direction in which CARICOM has stated its intent to move forward in. So a lot to discuss,
Interesting times ahead.
We bring the conversation. We always
interesting times ahead.
I've been trying to follow the comments. I've not been so good this morning at getting that bit of perceptive that's coming from the comment section, but. Yeah.
Tiffany Smith said it best. Don't hold them accountable for a job they didn't apply for.
Oh. Well, that's different. That's different.
That's deep. Don't hold them accountable for a job they didn't apply for. That's deep.
I see Ian. I see you, Ian, over there.
Right.
I noticed the comment. I see Susan also. I see all of you guys out there. But questions to be asked, and I always say that when you're in a position, when you're in a seat, when you're in a specific, you're holding a particular office, there are accountability is a must. Accountability is a must.
Folks, as we take our leave, share the live stream. Smash that emoji button for us as well, guys. Good to have had you this morning, and it's important that you guys partner with us as well. We can't do this without y'all. Y'all know that. Y'all know we need y'all. We're publicly funded by you guys. So we talking things, and who vex. We're available via Cash App, via Zelle, PayPal, MMG, available via MoneyGram, Western Union as well. You want to know how? Any additional information? 627-6963. That's my WhatsApp number. WhatsApp, we out here.
Partner with us.
We outside.
Yes.
Good to be here with you guys.
That is so true. Partner with us, as we continue to bring you credible information, as we continue to bring the discussion and context therein, and as we continue to involve your comments and how your train of thinking is on these particular matters. So, guys, it has been quite an experience thus far. Tomorrow again, we're going to be back with you, but of course, before that, we're going to be below the belt, and then this evening in the ring to make sure that the information comes to you live and direct. Whatever is happening now out there, you'll be getting it this minute. Whatever happens between midday and night, you'll be getting it in the ring. We always bring the information. That's the point.
Good to have you guys. Deborah Clark, Bernadette Duncan. Good to have you, Anne-Marie Roberts. Family. Gwyneth Anderson. Good to have each and every one of you. Anna Phillips too.
Yes. Have an awesome day. I'm going to be sure to be going back to look at the entire bit of footage there coming from the Summit of the Americas. I have to catch anything that I missed.
Good.
Yes.
Homework. See you guys. Stay safe. That's our time.
Have a good one.
That's we.